Wagner has all the best plays in the playbook. Going with your bank for your pre-approval is like playing in a professional playoff game with the JV coach at the helm. The Lombardi-level coaches at Accunet are called senior loan consultants, and each one has been trained by me to help you and your real estate agent work as one team to deliver the one and only thing that matters, winning. So if you've been losing with your flimsy bank pre-approval, trade up today to a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a Lombardi-level game plan. And if you're just getting started, why not start with the best? Click on the blue button today and get started with your winning game plan at accunet.com.
Gruber Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers.
Keeping you informed, keeping you safe, keeping you engaged and entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 12 o'clock, it is 74 degrees, partly cloudy skies today. It'll be less humid than yesterday, a high of 74. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley. Police in Shorewood investigating a deadly shooting near Murray and Lake Bluff. Police say one woman has died, another was injured in the incident. It happened around 4:30 this morning. Ages and identities of the victims were not provided, according to a news release. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office then around 5 a.m. responded to a call of an unresponsive man in a vehicle at Lincoln Park. Authorities then confirmed to our news partners at TMJ4 that the man was both deceased and believed to be the suspect in this incident, according to Shorewood Police. Milwaukee Police is making a major break in the death of a teenager. Two 18-year-old men now in custody with a shooting that left a 15-year-old boy dead on Milwaukee's east side. That shooting happening on July 3rd following the fireworks show along Milwaukee's lakefront. The medical examiner's office has identified that boy as Willie Moore of Milwaukee. The circumstances surrounding what led up to the shooting remained under investigation, but MPD does believe that the shooting was the result of an altercation. 13 people under the age of 18 have been shot in the last 10 days. Governor Evers getting creative with his veto pen, signing off on a 2-year spending plan which gutted a Republican tax cut and used his broad veto powers to increase school funding for centuries. That is because Evers changed the language to make a $325 per pupil increase end in the year 24-25 with some creative strike-throughs rather than in the year 2025. No word on whether the GOP will try to override any of the governor's 51 vetoes, but Republican State Representative Mark Bourne tells WISC-TV.
We'll look for ways, I think, this fall when the legislature returns to session to try to do more tax cuts.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said after the vetoes that the school revenue limit will effectively result in massive property tax increases because schools will then have the authority to raise those taxes if state aid isn't enough to meet that per pupil cost. Again, $325 per pupil. He also said scaling back the tax cut is putting Wisconsin at an economic disadvantage to its neighboring states. Meta's rival Twitter app launching overnight. Many insiders calling it the Twitter killer. ABC's Ariel Reshef has details.
You can sign in with your Instagram account, which carries over your username and verification. Threads has a similar interface to Twitter, where you can post, have conversations, and respond to others. There's a 500-character limit and 5-minute video limit. Accounts for those 16 and under automatically private.
Millions of users already signing up within the first day of the app being available. Milwaukee Brewers general manager Matt Arnold downplaying any criticism from Cubs manager David Ross, who earlier this week accused the organization of closing the American Family Field roof on Tuesday in order to give hitters a competitive advantage.
I actually think it's really flattering, to be honest. I think it's great. So I have no issues with it. Whatever they want to think is perfectly fine with me. So I just take it as a compliment, to be honest.
Arnold tells Wisconsin's Morning News he doesn't pay attention to what's happening with the roof when he's watching the games. Eyes on the field. Arnold joins WTMJ for Brewers 360 every Thursday morning at 7:45. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 12:03.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
My buddy Gus can down 4 brats in 2.7 minutes. What's the hurry? Why inhale a packed plate of cured pork when you can take your time to do it right and savor every bite? It makes me proud of the work we do at Mr. Holland's Home Services. When we make a house call, we won't guss up the service by racing through the repair. We take our time and do it right the first time so you can savor every morsel of total home comfort. Our banger bunch of talented techs promise to be punctual, polite, and proficient. So leave the racing sausages to the ballpark. For precision plumbing, accurate air conditioning, excellent electrical, and delightful drain cleaning, call 866-992-1717 or visit this link, MrHowlandsHomeservices.com. Get it? Link, sausage. Oh, do you know where the first sausage was cooked? In Greece. If you want service that's better than these jokes, we can help.
Experience fast, affordable family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. With on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger when accompanied with an adult, Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. From sports cars to NASCARs. You can even host your next company picnic or family reunion. Get the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's national park of speed.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. You ever ask yourself the question, what do I want to be known for? Do you know the answer? Are you in the right place to realize those aspirations? If not, LAK's Career Fit program can get you there. They'll work with you to create a roadmap to get you on a trajectory toward career fulfillment and renewed meaning in life, so you can truly discover what you were meant to do. Find out more about Career Fit. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group, discover your human advantage.
Afternoon baseball for the Brewers, looking for a 4-game split with the Chicago Cubs at American Family Field. Following today's game, the Reds come into town for a 3-game weekend series. Cincinnati in first place, 2 games ahead of the Brewers entering today's game. Coverage of today's game gets underway at 12:35. The Milwaukee Bucks begin Summer League play Friday in Las Vegas, and the league announces a mid-season tournament that'll take place in Las Vegas December 7th and 9th. Full details on the competition, including groupings, will be unveiled Saturday night on ESPN. Greg Matzik, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads, it is your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Looks like they've cleared that accident up on 45 south or northbound. That was up at Appleton Avenue. Still seeing some delays from the Zoo into Highway Q. That will take you about 3 extra minutes. Looks like this traffic is moving a bit better than before. A place traffic is not moving as good as before is 94 eastbound. That is just a bit of a mess right now. It's looking at like 10-minute delays between the Zoo and the stadium, and it's solid red. A lot of brake lights there. Also, something to watch out for is a disabled vehicle on the exit to Holt Avenue from 4394 southbound, south of the city. That reported just a couple minutes ago, and it's a white semi-truck cab. So definitely something to keep an eye out for there.
Traffic is sponsored by the Racine Zoo's Animal Crackers concert series, live music along the lakefront. Enjoy live music along the lakefront at Racine Zoo's Animal Crackers concert series. See Terrence Simeon and the Zydeco Experience live on Wednesday, July 12th. Tickets at racinezoo.org.
Now time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy skies today. It'll be less humid, though, than yesterday, a high of 74. Mainly clear skies tonight, a low of 60. Tomorrow we will have mostly sunny skies with a high of 76. Chance of showers on Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 77. Sunday, then mostly sunny with a high of 80 and mostly sunny skies. An addition on Monday, but we will have a slight chance of showers and a high of 85. Right now in Madison, it is 74. In Green Bay, it's 73. In Waukesha, it's up to 76. And here in downtown Milwaukee, it is 74. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:07.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue, it's the Jeff Wagner Show. Come join the conversation on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. Now, here's WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show. Let's get right to it. By the way, if you want to watch us do spoken word radio, you can do that. Simply go to YouTube, put in WTMJ. We live stream the shows in addition to broadcasting them. In addition, you can go to WTMJ.com and either click on the Listen Live or the Watch Live button. And if you hit the Watch Live button, as I always say, you can see how my wife has dressed me in any given day. All right, let us get right to it. If you are a regular listener to this program, we've talked about one of the interesting social things that's going on, especially after the pandemic, is the whole concept of tipping and when it is appropriate to tip and when you don't have to tip. and things that we never used to occur to us to tip. Now there's kind of an expectation. And a lot of times you go to places and they'll give you the thing to put your credit card in, and there will be 10, 15, 20, 25%, whatever. And we wrestle with what is appropriate and what isn't. I mean, I've talked about it in the context of when you go to the baseball game and they've got the self-service kiosks and you go through the line and you pull out your beer and you pull out your peanuts and you ring them up yourself, and it asks you to tip. And my response is always, well, tip for what? Now, I understand that there's somebody who fills up the coolers at the end of the game. I get that, but I mean, I don't tip the stock boy at Pick and Save, when I go and I pull the soup cans off. So I mean, I wrestle with that. And if people want to do it, that's fine. But I do draw a line with this as we're being asked how to tip. And I say this also because I think if you were to speak to, I don't know, like the servers and stuff that deal with me on a regular basis, they would say, well, he tips pretty well. And I always appreciated that because I've been fortunate most of my life to figure out, well, that extra $5 means more to the server or something than it does to me. And I don't know if I'll always be in a financial position to do it, but while I am, I like to reward good service. Which brings me to this story. Perhaps you have seen it. It has gone viral. It comes from essentially Central Texas. And it's a woman. Her name is Lacey Percival. And on June 30th, she orders a pizza through DoorDash. The price of the pizza was like $17.96. And on top of that, there was tax or service charge or whatever of $1.79. So essentially the cost is about $20. She tips the DoorDash driver $5. Now, I don't know whether she put that tip in advance or whether she added the tip when they delivered it. But regardless, it's $5. So essentially, if you round up, the purchase is $20. She's tipping the DoorDash driver $5. So what happens is, and this is all, it's caught on video. She's got like a Ring video or something like that. Okay, so the DoorDash driver comes up to the door. He's got the pizza there, and he, drops off. She comes to the door. She picks this up and says, "Hey, thanks for delivering this." The DoorDash driver, who's been tipped $5, then starts back to his car and then turns around and says, sarcastically, "I want to say this is a pretty nice house for a $5 tip." Her response, not picking up on his sarcasm, is, "Well, you're welcome." He then says, "Blank you." But he doesn't say blank you. He says that word that I cannot say on the radio or else I'll get called in a meeting, and I try to avoid meetings. He then says blank you to the woman and then stalks off. And the lady has posted this and said, "Okay, well, I don't understand this. How much do you think I should be tipping for a delivery of a $17 or $18 pizza, $20 with the service charge?" And so this has, of course, gone viral. The DoorDash has looked into this. They have fired the driver, and to make up for what happened to the lady, they initially returned $5 to her, which was the tip. They rescinded that, but now they've upped the voucher another $75. Okay, so under no circumstances is it, appropriate for the DoorDash driver, to curse the person out. But I am intrigued by the larger issue here, which is she leaves a $5 tip on a $20 delivery. Is that being cheap? Is that being unreasonable? 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. Now, the way it works, I mean, it's a little bit complicated with DoorDash, and the drivers don't necessarily know what their tip is going to be in advance. But clearly, this guy knew it was $5. Yeah, she probably lives in a nice house. But is a $5 tip, forget what his reaction was. His reaction was clearly over the top, and he deserved to be disciplined. But she tips the delivery driver $5 on a $20 order. Is that unreasonably low? Is that cheap? Or is that about normal or maybe even generous? 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. I mean, candidly, it wouldn't have occurred to me to tip more than $5 on an $18 or $20 purchase. I don't think that's being particularly chintzy at all, regardless of what type of house I lived in. 855-616-1620. We discuss in a moment.
More Jeff Wagner right after this. WTMJ's Steve Scafidi.
Celebrate America. Doesn't mean you're celebrating a country that's perfect, because none are. None. But we can certainly celebrate a country that gives us freedom. Not the first, but they're saying, you know what, enough with the nonsense. I'm a big fan of saying enough with the nonsense. Your answer is you're pissed off about it because it doesn't do what your wish list is. My only suggestion is to you get a different job or grow the hell up, because it's not going to get any better than this.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ.
Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Then make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. Join them on Sundays for the restaurant's famous trademark chicken, served family style with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Make your plans today to dine at Aria. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's aria@stkate.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and current president of the Milwaukee chapter of NARI. For 3 generations, our family business has been about more than just our family. It's about the people who work for us and with us. It's about helping families improve their homes, which improves their lives. It's about honest work and fair pricing. It's also about paying it forward by giving back. Get started at ALLRITE remodeling.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Back for more. Here's WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
855-616-1620, which is the Old National Bank talk and text line. If you're just tuning in, lady orders a pizza she lives in Central Texas, orders a pizza about a week or so ago from Dort, and the DoorDash driver comes up. The tab is, the pizza's like $18. There's a tax on top of it, so it's $20. She gives the driver a $5 tip, so it's $25, and he curses at her and says, well, it's a pretty nice house for a $5 tip. And this has now gone viral. And the question is, now the driver's been fired and things like that because you don't curse at people. But the overriding question is, that's 25%. That's a 25% tip. Is that an unreasonable tip? 855-616-1620. Let's start with Kelly and Slinger. Kelly, you're first. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
So I do a similar service. I work with Instacart, which is a grocery delivery service,
right,
and just do it part-time kind of for fun. But one thing I wonder is that I believe that, and it's similar with DoorDash, that you know the order that's coming up and you know approximately how much your tip is going to be.
Right.
So one of the things I question is, did the driver know that what the tip was going to be? Why didn't he decline it?
Right.
The second thing is, on a smaller order, I never expect a big tip. We know what our base rate is, and if it's a small order, why would somebody tip a whole bunch of money on a real small order? It just doesn't make any sense. So this driver was totally out of line and definitely deserved to get fired.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what sort of tip he expected. And then the argument is, well, you live in a nice house. Why? I would think that it would be extremely unusual for someone to tip I mean, typically tipping is based on a percentage of the order. And if you're tipping 25%, my guess is if you're tipping 25% at a restaurant where you're sitting down and you're giving that to the server, servers wouldn't be complaining about getting a 25% tip. So why would the guy that brings the pizza there, why would he think that he was going to get more than that?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I would say on average, people tip between 15 and 20%.
Right.
And it sounds like she gave him 22%, which is over. It was absolutely reasonable. And he was completely out of line with his expectations.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. Now, again, the reason I bring this up is because we are moving. The bigger picture here is that we're moving into a society where there's more and more quote-unquote tipping that is expected. And I understand we're going into more of a service industry. And look, and I appreciate that the pizza delivery drivers, the DoorDash drivers, that they're paying for their own gas and things like that. I understand all that. But at the same time, I guess I look at this and say, okay, if you have unreasonable expectations, maybe you should be in a different line of work. Let's talk to Justin in Greenfield. Justin, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Good. What do you think?
So I do food delivery on the side for all of those, pretty much I'm multi-platform. I don't usually, I have a minimum that I take.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't take like let's say delivery is like 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't take anything under $10. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to do myself like $1 a mile because it's the wear and tear on your car and everything.
Sure.
Now, I don't know how long the delivery was for this guy, but if he was going, I've seen deliveries that they send out for us for I've gotten one, for instance, for today for 15 miles for $3
mm-hmm.
because the person decides not to tip.
Right.
So our livelihood is sometimes dependent on those tips.
But Justin, but you can always say no to that. I mean, right? I mean, there's nothing that says that you have to take that. So I mean, if it's a small order or if it's an order more than 10 miles away, you can always decline that, right?
Yes, I can decline that, but here's the caveat to that. So, like an example for DoorDash, if your acceptance level goes below a certain amount, because they keep on giving you these small orders, you could get kicked off of DoorDash.
Yeah, right, Justin. I mean, thanks for calling, and I understand, and that's and maybe that's a reason why you don't want to be doing the deliveries for DoorDash, and I get all that, but I guess I'm seeing this from the consumer's perspective. If all I know is I'm ordering the pizza from DoorDash. And the arrangements on compensation between DoorDash and whoever it is that accepts the ticket, that's between DoorDash and whoever accepts the ticket. I mean, I don't see, as with all due respect, as a consumer, it's not my problem if you've got some guy who's said yes and he's got to drive 10 miles as opposed to drive 3 miles or whatever. That's a decision that he's made. To me, I don't think I base the tip on, hey, where are you coming from? I mean, I base the tip on what the cost of the service, what the cost of the product was. So, I mean, yeah, I can understand, but maybe if that's the deal, if he's not making money on a $5 delivering $20 and he's not making money on a $5 tip, maybe that's an indicator that, well, you shouldn't be working for DoorDash, especially if you think that they're giving you too many of the small things. 855-616-1620. Let's talk to Eric in Racine. Eric, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. Always good to hear from you.
Thanks for calling.
Hey, I was a DoorDash driver for a while. And granted, yes, you don't make a lot of money really fast, but the tip that she gave is more than sufficient for the order. Granted, It costs her more to have DoorDash deliver it. So that's probably where she was going based on that tip as well. Is not tip as much because DoorDash was already charging me a delivery fee and everything else like that fee.
Well, I guess, but let's work with the basic concept. I mean, I guess I don't forget doing the math and trying to figure out, okay, what is DoorDash going to cost? If my bottom line, no matter how you calculate it, is $20, and somebody brings the pizza to my door, I guess I don't think a $5 tip on a $20 bill is being stingy or chintzy or anything. I mean, it's 25%.
not at all.
Yeah. No, thanks. I mean, thanks. I mean, I guess that's kind of my point. And look, and maybe this is an argument why the gig economy isn't such a great deal, and why, I mean, I appreciate people have the wear and tear on the car and the gasoline and things like that, but that's always been the case to an extent. I mean, while the gig economy has taken off with like the Uber Eats and all the different types of deliveries and all those sort of things, I mean, we've always had pizza delivery folks who have, made the Jimmy John's folks who've made their money in large part based on the tips. I think we've got to figure out what these expectations are. And I was, again, struck by this because if you've got somebody out there that thinks that this lady is being stingy, I just don't buy it. I mean, I think that that's a more than fair sort of tip. It wouldn't have occurred to me to leave more money. Back with more in just a minute. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this. The calendar has finally turned. The sun is out, and now it's time to finally celebrate. Summerfest is back. Tune in right here on WTMJ and during the festival. Visit Jeff Wagner and Wisconsin's Afternoon News in the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone down at Summerfest. We are the home of your Summerfest fun. 620 WTMJ.
When you come to Kendor Marine, you'll find parts you didn't even know you needed. And if you're a boating enthusiast, like I know you are, then you're going to love wandering the aisles here. We've staked our reputation on thinking just like you. So we know what you need now and what you're going to need later to keep your boat in tip-top shape. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
We have the go-to marine store. And it's not just because we have all the boat parts and supplies you'll ever need, including oddball parts you thought you'd never be able to find. And it's also because we're cheaper than the other guys, too. So why shop anywhere else? This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
It's outdoor living time. Make the most of it this year. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited transform your space into your outdoor living dream. A deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. We live for summer around here. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
The Briley bedroom at Penny Mustard is my best friend.
You're best friends with a bedroom?
Don't be fooled by Briley's sweet, soft, gentle curves. She can be singing lullabies 1 minute and preparing for battle the next.
Briley is the opposite of cookie cutter. Can Briley be my BFF too? The Briley bedroom, starting at $381 a month with only 1 penny down and no interest till July of 2025. Through July 9th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Welcome back to Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
By the way, that's the Eagles. I didn't recognize that right away, but Samantha's, that's called Those Shoes. Didn't quite recognize that. Now, why am I playing an Eagles Get Back? Because welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. The Eagles have been doing farewell tours, my gosh, it seems for like the last 30 years. And after Glenn Fry, who's one of the founding members of the Eagles, Smuggler's Blues and all that, after he passed away a few years back, the word was, okay, we're done with touring, but now they decided, okay, in 2017, well, there's interest, and there's money to be made, so we will tour, but this is going to be the absolute final tour. Well, nothing is final, because the Eagles have just announced that they're back again for yet another goodbye tour. It's called The Long Goodbye. They say this time they promise that this is going to be their last tour, but it's a tour that's going to never end because they're starting in September 7th, Madison Square Garden in New York. They anticipate that the tour will continue until sometime in 2025, which is like a year and a half. And they're being very honest about this. They said, hey, we're going to play as many shows in each market as the audience demands, which means we will return to certain cities. So as long as we can sell the tickets, as long as there are people out there who are willing to pay $250 or $300 and $400 to see us, we are going to come back and we'll play until people stop wanting to see us. So again, the headline is, the Eagles say the time has come for us to close the circle. Well, all right, they're not closing the circle. It's, kind of more like that U-turn sign where they're just going to continue keep playing and playing and playing as long as there are bucks to be made. But if you want one more chance to see the Eagles, Don Henley, Joe Walsh, Timothy B. Schmidt, in addition, you're going to have it. You might have more than one chance. They're also going to be accompanied by Steely Dan. Now, of course, one of the two members of Steely Dan passed away a couple years ago, but that's not stopping Steely Dan. They will be back out on tour as well. I am going to be down at Summerfest. This is the last weekend of Summerfest. No show from Summerfest today because we've got Brewers baseball coming up very, very shortly. But tomorrow we'll be back 12 to 3 from the final Friday of